If I only could make a deal with God. Something. Running up that hill. He running up that. I don't know the words, but I listened to it a lot after Stranger Things.
Yeah, I found it became very overplayed after Stranger Things.
Well,
that's just me.
Yeah, it depends on where you are. If you're around people who play it all the time, then obviously it's going to be overplayed. But I don't feel it's overplayed.
That is fair.
Like my friend group has never played that song ever at like a get together or something. Yeah. Anyway, hello, hi, welcome. Name of the show is Politics. Although I call it Politrix, and the title of this episode is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. My name is Presh.
And I'm Ty.
And that's an awful fucking name for a movie, bro. Far too long. Like, so the book is called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yes.
So they want to have the book title.
Yeah.
But for marketing, they have to include the Hunger Games.
Like the Hunger Games.
Because people need to know that this is a Hunger Games movie. They shouldn't be confused about that.
Yes.
So it's like people didn't realize Prometheus was an Alien prequel.
Yes.
And by people I mean me. Because I'd never seen an Alien movie. And then at the end of Prometheus I'm like, isn't that the picture of the thing from that movie? It's like that picture I saw of that thing. Yeah. So yes, it's about marketing. Yeah, yes. Like they didn't call the Twilight sequels New Moon, Breaking Dawn or whatever. It said the Twilight Saga : Breaking Dawn.
Yes.
So they need that branding.
Yes.
So they kind of, grandfathered in with the Hunger Games. So I suggest the Hunger Games, Songbirds and Snakes.
That seems that seems a lot easier.
It's much more manageable. It's the same as like Batman vs Superman : Dawn of Justice. It's a lot, Anyway, cleanup from last week.
Yes.
You asked if people can use footage from shelf projects, and I did some extensive research. Got on the phone, asked people, went to the library, got some books, did some hectic Googling. I went to page 2 of the Google results. So you realize, I went to extreme lengths and I couldn't find anything. So.
Yeah.
But I just assumed that you can't because it's shelved.
Yeah.
So anyway, also last week when I was listening, you made a reference to Darth Vader.
Yes.
Which caught me off guard. I was like, what the hell? I couldn't remember I didn't write down the context of it, but I was just shocked. I didn't catch it at the time, but on re-listen I was like, oh, that's fucked, dude. You've come so far. When we started this, you hadn't watched anything.
Oh, you're going to be blown away by my recommendations this week. But we'll get to it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We also mentioned, I don't know if I should. So, at the end of the Marvels,
yes,
they're putting together a teen Avenger team.
Yes.
Can we say that? That's not spoilery. That doesn't spoil the Marvels, does it?
I wouldn't say so.
Right?
No.
So we were mentioning last week who are the people that could be on that Kid Avenger team. And we mentioned Kamala, Kate Bishop, the new Hawkeye, America Chavez, the Portal Girl, Cassie Lang, Ant-Man's daughter,
yes,
Ant-Girl.
Yeah.
She hasn't been named that, but...
we can call
her. I mean, what if she identifies more with, like, cockroaches? She's like a cockroach girl. Or, whatever insect she likes,
Yeah.
Everyone is just kind of forced to use it because Hank Pym likes ants,
Yeah.
It's what if the rest of them want to branch out into other insects?
Then I guess they could.
Spider Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to get in on that sweet branding. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, so, you already have that pre-existing trust. So if I come in as a Spider-Girl, it's like, all right.
Cool.
It comes from the same brand.
Yeah.
We got that brand recognition. Anyway, Thor's daughter, I don't know her name. I just keep calling her. I think her name is Love. That's why the movie is called Love and Thunder, because he's thunder.
That would make sense.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Hulk's son, Scar. It's Sakaar, but
Sakaar.
You do remember I spelled it last week.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the Vision, who is technically, he's not even a teen. He's he's 8 years old. Right? Well, that's the thing. He died.
Yes.
And he was brought back to life. So he's like 1 year old.
Yeah.
So the baby Avengers, the Avenger babies. There's actually a very funny, like, in WandaVision, they go through like a clip show, and you see Vision as a baby, which it's an adorable little. I'll show it to you after we're done recording. But yeah, Vision as a baby, because you know when Vision was born, he was born as a big adult-shaped person. But yes, anyway, the teen Avengers we forgot to mention.
Yes,
Riri Williams from Black Panther.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, from Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. I was trying to remember right, Billy and Tommy, do you know who they are?
No.
Wanda's children.
Oh.
They, in the comics, they kind of get the same powers as her and her brother.
Okay.
One is a speedster, one does magic.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right. But they also kids. They're like, I don't know, 8, 9. They were in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So they're not teens, but
Yeah.
I guess wait a few years. Isaiah Bradley's grandson, Eli.
Who's that?
Okay. In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we find out that Steve Rogers wasn't the only Captain America. They experimented on black people, or black men, I should say, and only one survived, and that was Isaiah Bradley.
Right.
Because like the other version or the earlier versions of the serum killed all the other experiments.
Right.
So not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, his grandson, his name is Eli.
Right.
He in the comics he becomes Captain America.
Okay.
So he could be a teen Avenger.
Yeah.
Right. Phyla Vell. Do you know who that is?
I want to say she's related to Marvel.
No. She's a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
At the end of the movie, you know, in the post-credit scene, we see them as a new team. She was one of the kids they saved on the what's his name ship.
Yeah.
That guy.
The
The guy with the face. His face was cut off in that fucking movie, bro. That's all I can think of when I look at that guy, bro. Jesus. Anyway, Kid Loki.
Who I assume was introduced in
Loki.
The Loki.
Yes, but the thing is, he's like a different version of Loki.
Okay.
From like a different world. So it would be, I don't know how they would tie that in.
Yeah.
And it seemed like more of a once-off joke than a real,
like actual thing.
Yeah. Ben Mendelsohn's daughter, played by Emilia Clarke.
Mendelssohn, the composer.
No, the actor. He was in Rogue One. He's from New Zealand or Australia. Anyway, he's one of the Skrulls.
Right.
We saw them last week. He was we did a commentary on Captain Marvel last week. Mendelsohn was one of the main cast of the movie. Fuck. Yes, but anyway, so Emilia Clarke, she's in her 30s.
Yes.
But we don't know how the Skrulls age. That could be a very young Skrull. That could be like a baby Skrull or a teenage Skrull. So,
Okay.
Actually, in fact, we know that to be true. That, what's his name? Mendelsohn? I forget his character name, but he's like 150 years old, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in their 30s seems like a reasonable for a teen.
Yeah.
Black Widow's sister. Now this is a real stretch because she's she's like in her mid-20s.
Yeah.
Like she's like 26 up.
Yeah.
So I think she would probably just go in the regular Avengers team.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's youngish, so
I'm sure she'd get along with both sides of the Avengers spectrum.
I guess.
Yeah.
Then the young Eternal Sprite.
Okay, I didn't watch Eternals.
Okay. Well, there's one Eternal. Well, this is the thing. They are robots.
Yes.
And they can't age.
Yes.
So they stay the same throughout the centuries.
Yes.
And there's one who was born as like looking like a child. Right. So they're thousands of years old, but they have the body of a child.
Okay.
So they've never been able to have sex.
Oh.
Because
that's not where I thought that was going.
They look like a child, right?
Yeah. Right.
Well, not even sex, just like a relationship.
Yeah.
Because, it'll be looking like you're an adult with a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an Eternal who looks like a kid.
Right.
So they could be on this team. Even though, again, I'm kind of going against my rules here because they thousands of years old. They just look like a kid. But I don't know. Iron Lad, do you know who that is?
No.
He is, Kang the Conqueror.
Yes.
And there's many versions of Kang the Conqueror.
Yes. Right.
One of those is a kid. So Kid Kang is called the Iron Lad.
Right.
And he goes back in time and becomes an Avenger.
Okay.
So he could be one of the teen Avengers.
He could, yes.
Also, Iron Man's daughter, I forgot to write that, but now that I'm thinking about it, she could be an Avenger.
She could, yeah.
Or a teen Avenger, I mean. And also Heimdall's son.
Yeah.
So, what power did he have? His eyes were glowing, that's all I remember.
He could,
He could, see into people's minds or some shit.
He could see across far distance. So, how...
Well, Heimdall's powers.
Yeah, basically.
I guess.
But he can, I guess Heimdall could also, communicate with them. But he could do, a video call thing.
Well, he could hear them, they couldn't communicate with him. So, Thor will be like, Heimdall, I hope you're seeing this or something, and then Heimdall will hear him, but he can't speak to Thor.
Yeah, but the kid can.
Alright.
Because when they're in that,
but they're in the same, galaxy, When Thor comes to Earth, he's, in a different, galaxy than Asgard.
Yeah.
But, when... What's his son's name? Axel?
I don't remember.
Alright. I'm just gonna call him Heimdall's son.
Okay. Heimdall's
son could be a... teen Avenger.
Yeah, you could.
Anyway, we spent far too long on this rubbish. So, can we get into the news for the week?
Yes.
Unfortunately, once again, I've had a rough week at work. Yeah. So I haven't been able to,
do all the
research I should have done.
Okay.
Right. But the first story is about RAND manipulation. Well, I say that to say I wanted to do a deep dive into this story so I could get all the nitty-gritty, all the nuts and bolts, and have a full understanding. Unfortunately, I didn't. But I have these two articles which...
Okay.
You were going to say something?
No.
You were just...
Yeah, I was just thinking, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have these two articles, one that explains what happened and one that kind of explains it in layman's terms, how that affects you.
Okay.
Right, so I think those... And then next week I'll come back with a
more deeper...
if I have the time.
Yeah.
I'll try to get a better understanding of the story, right?
If not, I will have time. So I'll...
But you don't do any work. It's not about time, it's about being lazy. Alright, so this is from businesstech.co.za.
Okay.
Right? It's from Staff Writer.
Okay.
Which... Very interesting name.
Yeah. It's I know they were born for this.
What parent named their child Staff? But nevertheless, so UK bank coughs up 43 million rand for manipulating the rand.
Okay.
UK-based banking multinational Standard Chartered Bank, SCB, has agreed to settle with the Competition Commission for 42.7 million associated with the rand/dollar manipulation scandal that was exposed in 2017.
Oh.
You wanted to say something?
That is not where I thought that was going. I just wanted to say Standard Chartered. I'd heard of them.
Yeah.
Because of...
the Liverpool shirt sponsor, yes.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Anyway. But they just a bank.
Yeah, right.
Standard Chartered was one of the 28 banks who were prosecuted by the Commission for manipulating the rand-dollar currency pair between 2003 and 2013. Huh. The bank has admitted liability in the case. According to the Commission, Standard Chartered participated in the manipulation of the US dollar South African rand currency pair by fixing bids, offers, bid-offer spreads, the spot exchange rate, and the exchange rate at the fix, or FIX, right? Okay. So again, this is the article that's just saying what's happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know what all those mean, how it relates to the working person, I would say, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of legalese.
Well, whatever it is for finance.
Yeah,
finances. Right. Further, the bank participated in dividing markets by allocating customers in terms of which one trader withholds or pulls his/her existing bids or offer from the market to allow the other trader to execute and complete his or her trade. Right?
Okay.
Another thing I don't understand.
Yeah.
This conduct contravenes section blah 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 of the Competition Act 89 of 1998 as amended, the Commission said. In February 2017, the Competition Commission referred to a number of banks, the Competition Tribunal for price fixing involving the rand. The Commission ultimately brought 28 banks under investigation in what it called the Forex cartel case.
Okay.
Do you remember this?
No.
Well, yeah, neither do I, which is far more surprising than you.
Yes,
Right.
definitely.
You were just like a newborn then.
Yeah,
You know,
pretty much.
the manipulation impacted the exchange rate of the South African rand, which in turn affected various parts of the South African economy, including imports and exports, foreign direct investment, public and private debt, and company balance sheets, with the attendant implications for the price of goods and services and financial assets. So once again, it just lists things, it doesn't explain
Yeah.
like how those things relate to the average person. So if you understand these things, or you not onto you, I'm
Yeah,
to the listener.
listener,
If you understand what's going on, maybe write in.
Yeah. Give
but
us a little TLDR there, please.
Yeah, the Standard Chartered settlement comes as other respondent banks are currently appearing before the Competition Appeal Court seeking an order to get aside a Competition Tribunal order of 30 March 2023, which ordered respondent banks to file their answers to the complaint referral. Right?
Okay.
Anyway, I'm just gonna move on. I should have stopped reading after before this when it got called the Forex cartel case. Anyway, the other article I have here is from sabcnews.com.
Okay.
And it's by Notando Magudulela. The headline is Banks accused of generating trillion in alleged rand manipulation.
That's a lot.
Well, it's not 1 trillion. Let me read the article, right?
Okay.
The Competition Commission says implicated banks in the alleged rand manipulation have generated about 1 trillion rand a day between 2007 and 2013.
What? What?
You thought it's not one. It's one every day for 6 years. The divisional, when I was doing some research into this, apparently that's not even a big amount in these, like,
In the banking or...
yeah, this is like a fairly small amount. 1 trillion a day. So wild, bro. Where was I? The divisional manager for cartels at the Competition Commission, Magale Mohlahla, told the Competition Tribunal this week. 5 of the 28 banks have admitted to taking part in the alleged foreign exchange manipulation 16 years ago. The other banks have gone to the courts to appeal whether South Africa's competition authorities have the jurisdiction to prosecute or have the material facts to prosecute. Quote, either way, it has an effect because at any given time in the trading market, there are buyers and sellers. South African firms that want to buy internationally, they'll need to acquire the dollars in order for them to buy in the international market. If they buy in dollars that are expensive because of the manipulation, they are losing money. South Africans that want to sell in the international market have to sell using dollars. So if they have to sell using a dollar that has been weakened by manipulations, they are losing money. So we have tried to quantify ultimately the card because the trading itself and the rules and it's here can give some additional figures to the trading itself. It talks about trillions a day, says divisional manager. Same guy, right?
Right.
It is believed that the 2013 cartel made 1 trillion rand a day due to price fixing and market allocation by the 28 local and international banks. This week, the Competition Commission signed a settlement agreement with one of the banks implicated in the foreign exchange case. Standard Chartered Bank agreed to pay an administrative penalty of 42.7 million. However, trade union GIWASA, that's GIWASA, WUSA says this is a slap on the wrist considering how much these banks made a day. Right? 42.7 million versus 1 trillion a day. That's going to teach them a lesson. I think they're going to go home, they're going to be like, oh shit, we lost 42.7 million. How will my kids, I can't buy them presents for Christmas this year. We fucked up so badly.
We've only got like 18 quadrillion left now. Jeez.
Yeah, anyway, so that's all I have to say. Yeah. So that first article will just kind of explains it. This one kind of makes it more accessible to the common man, because it means if I go to the shop, things that have been imported cost a lot more.
Yes.
That's that's the important one. That's what made me angry. When I saw that, I was like, what the hell? Anyway, so yes, I do want to find out more about this and what it means in particular, and just the get into the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I said, I've been busy at work, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Next story. The Cassie/Diddy case.
Okay.
So, do you know who these people are?
Diddy, I think I do know of.
Right. So Cassie is a R&B singer.
Okay.
And Diddy is like a producer.
Oh, producer.
Well, he is like, he raps sometimes, but I don't know what to call him exactly. But like he was like he owned Bad Boy, and he had like Biggie Smalls and 112 and Mace. I'm trying to remember, because he's like in charge of the artists,
right.
and he like helps them make the album, but he himself is not. Well, he has made albums himself. I don't know, whatever, right?
He's just kind of a jack of all trades kind of deal in music.
But anyway, so Cassie is suing him for rape.
Oh.
And abuse over a number of years. So he met her when she was 19 and he was 37.
Oh.
And it started since then, and it went on for like over 10 years, I think now.
That is outrageous.
Yeah. So I was kind of conflicted whether to include it here, because, this is kind of, I said we shouldn't talk about celebrities' personal lives or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is just such a... I want it to be known that Diddy is not a good person.
Yeah.
I think that's... we should be spreading that out. That this guy's a rapist. Bro.
Yeah.
And he settled immediately.
Oh.
So it's not like he went to defend himself or anything. It's...
he threw money at it.
Well, the thing is, it was a civil suit.
Okay.
Which means she wants money.
Yeah.
It's not a criminal case where he could go to jail.
Yeah.
It's just he has to pay money.
Right.
So, and he didn't want to fight that. He just gave the money over.
Okay.
So it seems more that she wanted to ruin his reputation. That people know he's a rapist.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah.
And I assume she also doesn't want a long, drawn-out trial, because it's, it would, trigger, like, memories for her, like, be put under the public spotlight. So, I totally understand her just, wanting to settle, not going to a criminal case and have that. But yes, it's very distressing.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what we can do about, like, sickos like this. Like, if, I don't know, maybe, like, youth centers for young boys, so they don't grow up to be, like, violent and, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is for this, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next story. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufis announced future taverns, which have received backlash on social media. Future taverns are government's hope to change the look and feel of drinking holes in townships. So, I should say, what is, like, for America and, like, foreign listeners, how would we describe a tavern?
It's kind of like, I guess, an informal bar.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't serve food, and it serves alcohol in, like, what are the big bottles called?
Like pints. No, not pints. like liter bottles.
Yeah, like 2 liter bottle, or 2 liter bottles of alcohol
Yeah.
in a glass bottle, where, at a bar it would be like, I order a drink, they mix a drink or something like that. Basically, it's like a very like low class, like just bar.
Yeah.
Like poor people. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Anyway, the project led by a Dutch beer maker Heineken in partnership with Gauteng government. The Gauteng Department of Economic Development confirmed to Sowetan the project is a public-private initiative that began early in the year and was aimed at transforming the tavern sector. An official from the department who is close to the project and did not want to be named said the project is still at the conception stage with a pilot already set up in Alexandra. The future tavern will have enhanced infrastructure to improve security for customers while preventing underage drinking. The owners will be upskilled to offer other services such as spaces for the customers to hold meetings while enjoying coffee. Heineken came on board and said it wanted to look at the retailers in the townships that sell alcohol and turn them into something that is more than just taverns where people don't only buy alcohol.
I like this. This seems like a good initiative.
Many social users were critical of him for promoting alcohol usage in townships, while others reminded him of his previous post where he said he wanted an alcohol-free SA. But Lesofia responded by saying, investment is above our individual preferences. We must bring investments in our province to create jobs and opportunities for all. So, I think this is a horrifically bad thing.
Okay.
It's encouraging drinking, right, as a good thing. You know what they said about, well, we'll serve other drinks. The idea is to get you in there so you buy, more alcohol, right? The idea of making alcohol more socialized is going away from what we should be doing. It should be stigmatized.
I feel like people are going to drink anyway, right? There's still like liquor stores around and all that kind of stuff. But rather than create something where people are doing it not necessarily illegally, but in places where they may not be allowed to, rather allow them to drink and then promote smaller quantities or responsible alcohol habits instead of hiding it away.
I don't believe that, well, they're just going to drink anyway. I believe using initiatives we can get rid of that. Okay. So I disregard your entire premise. I view this as promoting alcohol, and what's more like kind of insidious is that this is specifically in townships.
Yeah.
Right? Which is very lower income areas. Yeah. Right? So this is specifically targeting poor people.
Yeah.
Encouraging alcohol in poor people. So, I totally disagree. And him justifying it by saying investment, that is, we spoke about this, I think, in our very first episode, where it's like, just because something makes money doesn't justify it.
Yeah.
Right? You're doing something bad. We don't know how many people, could get hooked on alcohol, who can, become dependent on alcohol because it's becoming so, the point of this is to like make these places more appealing, right?
Yeah.
So, I just think this is going to be promoting alcohol. We should be doing the opposite.
Okay.
I'm not saying people can't drink alcohol. I'm saying we should be trying to get it down to as little as possible.
Okay.
As a point of policy, because there's a lot of like we are one of the biggest drinking countries in the world. I'm pretty sure. So, not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, your news.
You remember the rocket I was talking about last week?
Yes.
Where it was.
Yes, I saw. I love it.
It once again. Well, not once again, because this is a different rocket, but it still blew up, and I think that's quite funny. So far, it's they're still doing investigations, so we're not fully sure what's happened. But as far as I could see, in terms of internet analysis and stuff like that, they've said that I don't know if you watched it or like you're
No.
aware of it. Yeah.
No. Watching a rocket. Yeah, carry on.
But basically, the rocket is in like two parts, right? And it launches, and then the two parts separate. The top part keeps going, and the bottom part flips around to like come back and land, right? I've seen a lot of, I've seen the most kind of common theory that I've seen right now is that it flipped, and that caused the fuel to slosh in a weird way, and so it couldn't fuel the engines anymore, and then the automated flight termination system exploded.
Alright.
It made a kaboom.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I'll be back with another update next week, probably.
Alright. Well, personally, I think you
Yes.
and the internet people are totally wrong.
Okay.
I clearly understand. Like, it's very clear to me what happened.
What happened?
One of the haters got on the got on the rocket. They attached several bombs. It blew up just to make our visionary leader of SpaceX look bad.
Oh, I see.
That's the you're not accounting for that. You just assume things happen. No, they're bad. This week he tweeted, "Advertisers are the greatest threat to your free speech," because they pulled out of advertising on Twitter.
Yes.
Which everybody's obligated to give Twitter money. If not, they're a threat to free speech, I guess. In fact, don't you think giving your money? Well, this is what right-wingers believe.
Yes.
So I don't want to. Maybe even me saying it would give it too much credence, right? But they say spending your money is a form of free speech.
Yes.
Like you're allowed to spend your money wherever you want.
Yeah.
Right? So is the companies, choosing not to spend their money on advertising on Twitter, is that not free speech?
Seems like free speech to me.
Well, the thing is, a corporation is not a person. So I don't know. Only in America, it's a thing called Glass-Steagall, which allowed businesses to be viewed as
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a business can send contributions to a particular candidate, and you as the CEO can send as well.
Yeah.
It separates you.
Yeah.
So yeah. What a sick fucking country. Every time it comes up, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, America. Horrible place. Alright. Is that your only news story?
Yeah, pretty much. I was going to say something about election weekend, but there isn't really much to say. Well, not election weekend, registration weekend.
Oh yeah. I've been getting SMSs to register to vote.
Yeah.
I've just ignored them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you?
No, I've registered.
Yeah. Who are you going to vote for?
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right? I might just register to not vote. So they know I'm around, but I've chosen not to. Right. Can we get into the movie?
Yeah, sure.
So, what do you know about the Hunger Games?
It's originally based... Well, the Hunger Games, the books, the movies, or the actual games?
Whatever you know.
Oh. So the Hunger Games movies are originally based on they were originally a trilogy of books, and then they like branched out into other books, and then eventually...
What do you mean branched out into other books?
There were more books after that.
There's one book.
The prequel.
Yeah, the one we're covering today.
Okay, yeah, sorry, my bad.
You know what? I'm just going to stop you because you're floundering. You have no.
What do you mean?
Just say you don't know.
But I do know.
What do you know?
The Hunger Games is a series of a trilogy first of all of books. It was the original Hunger Games, then Catching Fire, and then Mockingjay. Boom.
All right. How does that give context to this movie?
This is a prequel to those, which is it's based on the book
Okay, but I mean, knowing the titles of the books, how does that add context to this?
I don't know. I just thought I'd share.
Yeah, so what did you go? Boom! You just you said some gibberish and went boom! Like you got me.
Anyway, the book prequel was released in 2020, and I guess they wanted to make a movie out of it straight away, so they did.
Alright, I've had enough.
Okay.
This is a place called Panem.
Yes.
It's split into the capital
Yes.
and 12 districts.
Yes. Well, technically 13 districts. District 13 rebelled, but they were in charge of nuclear weapons, so the capital very quickly made a deal with them to...
Yeah, listen, irrelevant.
Okay.
That's has nothing to do with this movie.
I'm just saying.
There's 12 districts, alright? And
Okay,
this is clearly a future version of America.
Yes.
And I'm talking about original Hunger Games.
Yes.
Right? And it's... So what happened was the districts had some sort of rebellion against the capital.
Yes.
It's unclear why, and the capital beat them off.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, beat them off sounds like
Yeah, it sounds a bit...
they masturbated them.
Yeah.
They defeated them in combat.
Yes.
Right. The capital defeated them in combat and instituted the Hunger Games to, I guess, make them fearful, you know, of ever rebelling again.
Yeah.
Right, but I would think that would make them even more like resentful and like, oh, fuck you, this is fucking bullshit. But anyway, so this movie is about the president. It's a prequel about the president.
Okay.
President Snow.
Snoo.
Yeah. It's set about 60 years before the original series.
The Jennifer Lawrence Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you... Anyway,
yeah.
why would you say the Jennifer Lawrence Hunger Games as opposed to
The original trilogy. What?
you're saying the Jennifer Lawrence Hunger Games as
Yes.
opposed to
This.
the Oprah Winfrey Hunger Games? Like, there's only one other Hunger Games that we're talking about here. Jesus,
Okay.
what's going on?
I
You
don't
know,
know.
I think because you've seen this movies, you think like, all right,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of these movies. I saw the first one, I think, but
Oh my
the
goodness.
others I didn't see. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm going into this as a new viewer.
Okay.
This movie has to captivate me on its own merits. It can't expect me to have, Hunger Games pre-knowledge that I'm supposed to just know about, right? It needs to introduce me to the world,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And did it do a good job at that?
I don't know. I cannot look at it as a new viewer because I saw all the other
Yes,
ones.
but I'm saying they told me there were 12 districts.
Yes.
Now some crook is telling me some rubbish about a 13. Does that affect my viewing of this movie?
No.
So, it seems a bit irrelevant if you ask me.
Okay.
Anyway, what's his name? I forget his fucking name, but his name is something Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
No, he's the director of this movie.
I've
He
no
directed the final 3 Hunger Games, right? So the
Okay.
third one was split into 2.
Yes.
So there were 4 movies. He directed the last 3 and this one,
Okay.
right?
Right.
And just based on the name, I assumed he was Jennifer Lawrence's father. He's something Lawrence, right? But
Right.
apparently they're unrelated.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. So can we just get into my thoughts with the
Yeah.
movie? So this movie is far too long.
Yeah. Way too long.
I checked the runtime, it's 157 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is a little over 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's a
And,
long
yeah, and I really felt it, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, the director regretted splitting the final book into 2 parts and didn't want to do the same here. But I believe he made a mistake.
Yeah.
He made 2 mistakes. The one time he shouldn't have, he did it. The other time he should have, he didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, frankly, I think this could have worked better as like a 6-episode miniseries or something like that. Just give more characters, flesh it out more,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Especially if it's only 1 book.
Yeah.
Now, last week, having known nothing about the Hunger Games, I was like, well, there's probably going to be sequels to this.
Yeah.
So, so I'm like, should we do the first Hunger Games as a as a commentary, or do we do all 4 and then we'll release them over the next few weeks, and we don't do commentaries for whatever movie?
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, I don't know if there is going to be sequels because this movie is doing very poorly at the box office.
Oh. Okay.
They didn't write any sequels to this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we may need to record all 4 and release them. Yeah. So yeah. It also continues the naming scheme of having a name sound similar to a regular game name.
Yeah.
In the original movies, we have Katniss, which I assume is Candace. Haymitch, which could either be Hamish or Mitch, like you're greeting your friend.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, comma, Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Peter, which is how Lois calls Peter in Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Hey, Peter. Peter. Which, is the regular name Peterson. Right? And for this movie, the main character, his name is Coriolanus.
Yes.
Which I assume is Cornelius.
Or the Shakespeare character. But I don't know how likely that one is.
Oh. What Shakespeare character?
Coriolanus.
From where?
Coriolanus.
From where?
The play is called Coriolanus, I think.
Never read it.
Yeah, it was my matric set piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I may refer to this guy by mistake as Cornelius.
Okay.
Right? But I'll just try to refer to him as Snow.
Fair enough.
Like Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, Lucy Gray is based on the popular name Grey Lucy. Which, everyone has the name. That top of baby names 2023. Grey Lucy. Right. The movie is split into 3 portions.
Yes.
The first is the introduction to Snow and the world of Panem.
Yes.
Right? And I thought this was the strongest portion of the movie.
Definitely.
It's political intrigue in a fantasy setting.
Okay.
Feels like a futuristic Game of Thrones, all the way down to casting Peter Dinklage as
Highbottom.
Yeah, the dean of the school, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It starts with the death of Cornelius Snow's father, who was a general in the war against the districts.
Yes.
Was it a war, or was it just... is an uprising a war, Riddle me that, Batman.
Anyway.
Which we're later told has led the House of Snow into ruin.
Yeah.
I don't know, somebody says the House of Snow falls, or something like that. They were trying to do it like a poetic thing. I thought I did the jack off motion when when they said that. Right. And this gives us his motivation.
Yes.
Right? His hunger and drive to restore his family name. This is why he's a top student, and this is why he betrays his friend later to Viola Davis. He has this,
the drive,
set goal, and he's gonna do it, goddammit.
Yeah.
The only time he deviates from this is when he cheats to help Rachel Zegler, due to his fixation on her.
Yeah.
Although you could argue that, being the mentor of a Hunger Games winner will bring prestige to his family.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't reveal him. The public doesn't know he cheated.
Yeah.
He just gets sent away to the peacekeepers.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Right.
It worked out well for him.
Yeah. Seems fine.
Right. Yeah. We meet Peter Dinklage's Highbottom, who was the creator of the games, and Viola Davis as the person in charge of the Hunger Games. Dr. Volumnia Gall. So I don't know how we would use these into our theory of regular names. What name corresponds to Volumnia?
Volumnia is Coriolanus's mother. I just realized that.
In the
play.
Oh.
In the Shakespeare play.
Oh my god. So she's his mentor.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. We're learning new things here.
Yeah.
And what about Dinklage?
I have no idea.
His name is Highbottom.
Yeah.
So when you have it's called like interior tilt.
Yes.
Where like your bum sticks out. He's the first guy to have. He didn't do deadlifts properly, and now he has he has that where his bum sticks out. Yeah,
A high bottom.
yeah, high bottom. Anyway, they tell the students that they want proposals to increase viewership, right?
Yes.
And do you have any thoughts about this first portion?
I don't know. I do agree with you that it is kind of the strongest portion of the movie. It's very I lost my train of thought. I like the idea that there's this like big prize that they're working towards, and only one of them gets it.
Which is what?
I don't remember what it's called, but it's the prize for the best student. You know, Peter Dinklage walks in towards the beginning, and he's like, "We've done away with the prize for the marks specifically. You will be judged on how well your tribute does in the Hunger Games."
All right.
I quite enjoyed that.
So he won.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he kind of won because
Yeah, but carry on.
But yeah, I just like the idea that it's kind of, we're never told exactly what it is. We're just told that it's like a large sum of money or something along those lines.
Yeah, and I guess okay.
Yeah.
Well, he wants his family to. It's not just that they've lost prestige; it's also that they've lost money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you done? Is that it?
I like that. Lily Cooper is very good at being unlikable.
Who's Lily Cooper in this movie?
She's the
mother.
The other student who.
She's like Chinese or Asian.
I don't know. She gets stabbed in the neck.
Oh.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What?
I thought she got bitten by a snake. No. So
no.
she was taunting the
tributes.
The tributes
in the cage. Yeah.
What a sick fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, she's very good at being unlikable.
We get Jason Schwartzman as like a proto Stanley Tucci.
Yeah.
He says a lot of funny stuff. Like, I couldn't remember any quotes, but definitely he was one of my favorite characters in this.
I felt he was too over the top.
He's had a very good 2023.
Mm.
He was the Spot in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
He was Asteroid City in Asteroid City.
He was the whole city.
I don't know his name. Everyone in that movie, I can't remember. I just know their actor names. I'm like, oh, that's Bryan Cranston. He's the narrator. That's the alien as himself. I couldn't believe they got an alien to be in this movie. They went to the desert and got him out of Area 51. But anyway, yes. So, Spider-Verse, Asteroid City, this movie, big year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's having a good time.
Are you done with the first section?
Yeah.
Alright, so the second portion is the Young Games, which is what I've been calling this, because it's the Hunger Games, but when Snow was younger.
Yes.
So, the Younger Games.
Does make sense, yeah.
I thought this was the weakest portion. While it was mildly interesting to see like a more primitive version of the Hunger Games, at the end of the day, it's still Hunger Games. I didn't find this engaging at all, right? The Hunger Games in the original series with all the crazy technology is way more fun to see than this. It's actually called out within the movie that the general public thinks this fucking sucks. And that's why the ratings are low. Although I do understand that the series' central premise is that it's about the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So, you need to include Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But during this whole portion of the movie, there's no sequence that really stood out to me. Even when like Viola Davis lets out all the super snakes, that I thought was not a great scene.
Yeah.
When the building blew up, then there's like a 360, like you see the pieces of the building blow up as the camera goes in a 360. I thought that sucked as well. There's nothing good in this.
I don't know if it's just me, but that looked very fake.
That as well, yes. It's like
the
CGI was awful, bro.
Yeah.
It's an eyesore. It was not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think they shouldn't have shown Snow slip the handkerchief in so that they could build tension.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if he put the handkerchief in, she's probably going to survive.
Yeah.
It's I guess you could think maybe not all the snakes smelt it, right? So they don't know who dealt it. So, that there could be tension there, but if we didn't know, if like we just see him looking at the snakes, and then the scene cuts, and then she wins, it could be like, oh, was it singing? Where did he do something? There could have been more intrigue to it.
Yeah.
This it played out like we expected it to, which was very
That's
mature,
pretty
right?
Yeah. Although I do feel like, okay, actually, never mind. We'll get to it.
All right. We're still in this. I'm done with the second portion.
Yeah, but I think it's in the third portion.
All right.
So, yeah.
So let's go into the third portion, right? Snow is exiled for cheating, and he's part of the peacekeepers, and his friend goes with him.
Yes. Shame. Sir James. That's another one that's like a little bit strange.
His name is Sejanus. Sejanus.
Oh.
But it could be Sir James. That could be the regular name it's corresponding to. Anyway, what are you saying?
So I feel like they could have just stopped the movie at like the reveal of the handkerchief, where you can I know we mentioned it earlier, where it's like this movie was too long.
Yes, again, this is where I agree with you. We should have stopped it there.
Yeah.
At the second portion of him going and being a peacekeeper should have been another movie.
Yeah.
Because it's... Oh, sorry, I'm trampling over your point.
No,
but
it's okay. Go for
it's
it.
more or less like 10-15 minutes of screen time where between him being separated from what's her name, Rachel Zegler, and them meeting up again. It's not like enough time that you feel like, oh, they haven't seen each other, if they split it up, it would be like, oh, I haven't seen you since we cheated at the Younger Games. I don't know you would ever come back to one of the districts or whatever. That could have been like a nice cliffhanger, which it's not really a cliffhanger because we know there's a second movie, but it could have been a nice place to end on. Yes,
definitely.
There's no like, oh, I lost her, oh, there she is. It kind of undercuts itself by being so quick.
There's very little actual building of tension in this movie. There's a little bit where she's hiding in the vent.
Yes.
And they're trying to stab through it.
Well, that's not what I was thinking about. But carry on.
That's kind of the only thing I can. Well, I guess
I would say we're at the end when he was like shooting at the trees. And it's like, we don't know where she is. We don't know. Is he gonna find her? That was a tense moment. I thought he was gonna kill her. Honestly, because I know there's only one book. So I'm like, she does not need to survive, right? He could genuinely kill her. There was that tense moment there.
I guess,
And she just disappeared, which was weird. But anyway, you were saying something. Tension.
It's just very little of it. There's you mentioned the trees and stuff, and I was talking about. I guess there's also the bottle where she puts the rat poison in the bottle and she closes it and then she spills all out.
And they're about to drink, then they put it down. They're about to drink. And then somebody else drinks it. A good person.
She should never have survived for as long as she did.
I literally don't know anyone other than Rachel Zegler from the from the tributes. Every single character was just nothing. I didn't invest 1 second into them. It's completely obvious Rachel Zegler is going to win. All these people are just meat. In a Roman Colosseum, you have people there and the lions come out and they just eat them.
Yeah.
That's what happened here. Yeah. And it was set in a Roman Colosseum looking place, so maybe that's what was being alluded to. But yes, are you done?
I don't like the small arena. Like, I get that it's...
That as well. Fuck me.
I get that it's, you know, like low tech and
yes,
it's just starting out.
But that's the point I was making, that the future Aga games just seem way more interesting.
Yeah.
This being set in a small arena, it's mildly interesting, you know, seeing it in a different environment. But like after a bit, it's like, oh well, fuck this. You know, who cares? It's the exact same as doing Hunger Games, just, you know, not as good as the other.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Are you still?
No.
So we meet like this Nazi commander, right? Played by Bern Gorman.
Yeah.
Do you know who Bern Gorman is?
Yes.
Who is he?
He was in... Well, he's an actor, but he was in Pacific Rim and... What? Huh?
I said yes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear you. And he was also in Johnny English, the second Johnny English.
All right.
Yeah.
But he's from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He plays a character called Carl Tedder.
Oh.
Who's just like... Right, so I didn't have time to research the news stories, but I had time to go find this quote, right? So he goes, "You shut your fucking hole, ugly little cunt. You look like a fucking ball sack. Ugly looking stupid cunt face. I could piss in any gutter and soak 5 of you. You know how much they paid me to kill a man in King's Landing? 7 silvers. They told me a man's name and that man never saw daylight again. None of them cocksuckers got away from me. I haven't lost a fight since I was 9. Maybe it's time. Do you think, eh? Maybe you're the man, eh? Cunt. I was a fucking legend back in Gin Alley. A fucking legend. I would take any night, any time. Fucking cunts in a steel plate. Fucking cowards." Which I think about that all the time. If somebody says something like mean to me, I just want to shout, "I was a legend back in Janelli. A legend, a fucking legend." One of my favorite things, bro. Like, apparently book readers hate this because it's not from the books. It's like we just hear that these people have taken over a place.
Right.
Now we see it, and he's the person in charge of those people taking over the place.
Okay.
And he's just like a mean bastard.
Yeah.
And he's fucking useless, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even think he lost an episode. Maybe like, and I think maybe it's like 2 episodes, because like we see him early on.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this particular thing.
Right.
He does a sneak attack and kills people.
Yeah.
Then their friends come and murder him. So it takes place like, you know, at the end of one episode, beginning of the other episode. It's just that, like, in a 20-minute segment, he's shown to be full of shit. Jon Snow kills him, like, almost immediately, without a fight. He just stabs the shit out of him. But yeah, I love Carl Tanner. Again, every time I see Bern Gorman, I'm like, he was a fucking legend back in Gin Alley. Anyway, I'm not good with style, so I may be wrong, but the aesthetic of the capital, like the clothes, the infrastructure, you know, all that, looks like a lot of, like, 1950s America.
Yeah, I can see that.
I wasn't alive.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't around in 1950s America.
Yes.
Because obviously I was in South Africa.
Yeah.
I'm not American. But yes, so I only know about 1950s America from, like, you know, George Lucas movies.
Yeah.
Like American Graffiti, like, you know, movies just set in the 50s. That's how I, you know, and that's how I know of that aesthetic.
Right.
But, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me because the original movies came out in like 2012 to like 2015.
Yeah.
And this movie is set like 60 odd years before.
Right.
Which would be in the 50s, right? Yeah. So if this is true, that's a fun choice by the costumes and CGI department. Right. And I take my 1950s style hat off for them. But, you know, if it's not, if like I'm totally wrong, then like I'm gonna have to go back and erase that part of this podcast because we can't have that getting out, right? Let me see, where am I now? So, I said there's just a conflict.
Yeah.
There's... Why are they oppressing them?
Because of the whole uprising thing.
Why did they uprise?
Because they were being oppressed.
Why were they oppressed? You see my point here? It's like what I would call politics for babies. It's like, well, they had conflict. Well, do you want to tell us why? Or, the socio-political reasons that led up to this conflict? No, they just kind of hate each other. And, these people are rich, these people are poor. So, it's probably about money, but we're not going to explain that. Yeah. Very... like a blank slate. You can project whatever politics you want onto it.
Yeah.
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 In the introduction scene to Rachel Zegler,
Yeah.
she stands out and it's a bit garish, right?
Okay.
I understand the idea is to communicate that she's like different from everyone else. She has like a color dress, like everyone else is in this dreary environment and they've just accepted it, but she's not accepted it. She's in the color,
yeah.
right? She doesn't want to live in a bleak, dreary place, right?
Yeah, right.
But like, it looked so odd because even her face. Well, I think she's part Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So she's a little bit darker.
Yeah.
But it's also like she has like makeup on.
Yeah.
While all the other people don't have makeup, they look like extremely pale.
Yeah.
Like, like she just stands out so much. I understand showing individuality, like that would be the dress, but her just like looking so different was a bit of a garish, like I said, garish.
Yeah.
Right. I also found that the mentor role of Snow to Rachel Zegler was very similar to Haymitch and Candace in the original series.
Yeah.
Right. They could have changed the dynamic or like, I don't know,
done something different.
Yeah, because it's literally the exact same. It's a guy mentoring a girl.
Yeah.
And it's, well, it has to be about Snow, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a kid he thinks of as like a brother has been forced into doing Hunger Games. Well, I guess if he's at the capital, nobody at the capital does Hunger Games. It's the only people from the districts, right?
Although his friend did have something kind of similar.
So Janice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. That guy's from West Side Story.
Yeah.
And so is Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
She's done 3 movies.
Oh.
Which are?
West Side Story, this, and something else.
What is that something else?
I have no idea.
We've covered it on this podcast. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. She's the third sister.
Oh!
Yes.
Right. I even looked this up.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Every time I say, hey, maybe you should write stuff down. Maybe you should write me saying, hey, write stuff down. Yeah. Where am I? Viola Davis. I absolutely loved in this movie.
Yeah, she was great.
People are talking about the main character. I didn't like him that much. But yeah, Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Whoever was giving her costume, or the costume department, her performance, like everything about her, I loved. Like that portion, or every scene she's in, I'm like, oh my god, she's great, right? I only have 4 favorites.
Yeah. Okay.
Best Picture, Oppenheimer.
Right.
Best Director, Christopher Nolan.
Right.
Best Supporting Actor, Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Best music
score.
Yeah. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay.
Right. Those are the only 4 I have locked down, and I think Viola Davis, Best Supporting Actress, is also kind of a lock. Well, I say it's a lock, but I mean it's a lock for my contention.
Yeah.
Right. At current moment, she's my favorite supporting actress performance that I've seen this year.
Yeah. She was incredibly good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also didn't like that everything is introduced at once.
Okay.
So this, all his suggestions, it's pretty much exactly how it is in the Jennifer Lawrence Hunger Games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Right?
I see what you're saying.
Things change over time, every couple of years, okay, let's try this or let's try this. He just hands a book with everything, and they never make another change for 60 years.
Yeah.
It's I really hate when they do that.
Yeah.
When everything is we covered this in a movie, right? But the only time this has kind of worked is Indiana Jones and the third one. The third one.
And the third one, yes.
Yeah, the Last Crusade.
Yes.
We see him he gets his whip, he gets the hat.
Yeah.
And it's done as a joke.
Yeah.
Because it's not meant to be, because it's obviously you wouldn't get it all on the same day. They were making a joke of it.
Yes.
But this is, they're doing it in earnest. They genuinely here's a book with every change we'll have for the next 60 years. It just, and they're cutting themselves off from sequels. It could be well, this guy did this, somebody else did that, it could lead up all the way to...
They can't really iterate on...
Yes, because everything's done.
Yeah.
Right? There's a breaking news cut.
Yeah.
Which is obvious propaganda when, I can't remember what it was. Somebody was saying something. Or, something was happening that was inconvenient to the capital.
Yeah.
So they immediately cut the news.
Yeah.
And it's and I think the story she was saying was bullshit.
Yeah.
I can't remember. That's the problem. Fuck. This was a shit movie. So this is the thing. I'm kind of locked in when it's good movies, and I want to chat about it. When it's bad movies, I'm oh.
Yeah.
Which is bad. It should be professional all the way around. But
we should.
Who's we? I was talking about myself. Don't rope yourself in.
No, but you're right. We should be.
Yeah.
I got so bored.
Something that really upset me.
Yeah.
This movie for the most part is just regular, it's whatever. And then one thing that is when that Down syndrome girl gets fucked up. It's yes, I understand. The thing is they want representation for everyone, right? But this is just, it seems cruel.
Yeah.
It seemed I don't know how to, maybe people would say that's me, I'm the person in the wrong, They're a person, they should be treated as everyone else. You wouldn't squirm if a regular person died.
But I would squirm either way.
It's just, I don't know, it makes it worse that they have Down syndrome. I don't know what it is. Sorry if this offends, but it just feels worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, somebody says, y'all know I quit drinking at 12.
Rachel Zegler says
and that's the person we need in to be the Gauteng premier. She needs to, be we're against drinking. Anyway.
But then she took a swig of whatever was in the bottle. And she was like, it's just to warm up my vocal cords.
No.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, I also didn't feel like there was any chemistry between Rachel Zegler and the main guy.
I feel like it was very forced. Well, not forced, but shoehorned. Those are not the right terms.
I thought it was abrupt.
Yeah, there we go.
Because it's they have a connection because he's helping her win the games.
Yeah.
And then, when in the third part when they meet up, they start kissing. I'm like, what? This didn't... I didn't expect this at all. It just seemed like I said, he was fixated on it. Not that she didn't reciprocate anything, I don't think.
Not really.
Yeah. So I understand why he would
Yeah.
be fixated. Well, he would kiss her. I don't understand why she would be into him.
Yeah.
Because it didn't, it was not portrayed at all.
Yeah.
Alright. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, not really.
Mm.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about Peter Dinklage.
I really enjoyed him.
He was on drugs,
Yeah.
and that's how he died. Yeah. Yeah, just nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
You seen the first Hunger Games? Yeah, well, it's better than this. Yeah.
It's the first Hunger Games with less drama.
Mm.
And I guess more romance in a way.
Mm.
In a very awkward way, but in a way.
Mm. So are we done here?
What did you rate the movie?
5.
Yeah, I also gave it a 5.
Which fucking sucks, right?
Yeah.
Because Rachel Zegler, the 2 movies we've covered of her, has been a 5 out of 10. And the one we didn't cover was like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
West Side Story, which you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Big crook.
One day.
You don't even love musicals.
One day I will see it.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is also a victim of wokeness.
Okay.
Oh, not wokeness. You know, people who are angry about wokeness. Right? Because that doesn't even have to do with this movie. Rachel Zegler is going to be playing Snow White. She was cast as Snow White.
Oh, yes.
First of all, like I said, I think she's part Puerto Rican, so she's not Snow White.
Yeah.
Right? She's
Right.
has some color in her face.
Yes.
Right? And apparently she's not a fan of Snow White.
Oh.
She's just doing it as like a paycheck.
Oh.
So
Okay.
people are upset with her.
Mm.
And yeah, it's being taken out on this movie. People are, you know, saying they don't want to go watch this movie because of her,
Huh.
which I don't know, seems dumb. Yeah.
I would watch this movie because of her. Because her performance was really good.
What do you think about the singing?
I like the idea of it, but the whole, you were saying with the snakes, they could have definitely used the singing better to mean something else instead of just having her sing.
Well, I don't like her accent. And like when she's singing, that's when it's most prominent.
Oh.
Right? So I don't like that. Anyway, who's the songbird and who's the snake?
I would say she's the songbird.
Because she sings.
And they call her songbird.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. And him? He's a snake. But who did he snake? His friend
Yes.
Sejanus.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, checks out.
Rachel Zegler has been making use of snakes.
Yeah.
She took a snake and put it in that girl's back.
Like in a dress.
Yeah. She survived the snakes.
Yeah.
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 I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
In conclusion, fuck the Younger Games.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Can we move on to recommendations?
Yeah.
Another very poor week from me.
Oh, no.
I watched one episode of television and one movie.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
I've been very busy at work.
Yes.
And, personally, I think I should slack off more and
Do more watching of things.
But I just happen to be working hard and, I know I'm letting all of you down. But, so yeah, I watched Invincible episode 3 of season 2. A lot of fun.
Okay.
It's the mid-season finale next week, or this week. And very excited for it.
Okay.
Yeah, just one of the better shows on TV right now.
Okay.
So much fun. Then I watched Mank,
Oh.
which is the next in David Fincher series.
Okay.
Certainly liked it more than when I first watched it. I gave it a 7 before, I gave it an 8 now.
Okay.
It's good,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Okay.
It's very ahistorical
Mm.
for a number of reasons.
Okay.
But I said I don't really care
Yeah.
about a biography being accurate,
Yeah.
unless it's like disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I think, this guy was like a capitalist and an anti-union person, right?
Oh,
and
I
he's
see.
portrayed as a socialist in this movie.
Oh,
so
wait a second.
I'm like, I wouldn't. Well, even him, I don't know, would he want to have been portrayed like this?
I feel like not.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You?
Oh. Okay. So I watched Finding You. It's It's basically a movie about this American girl who, she things aren't going her way in America, and so she goes to Ireland on like a semester program, and yeah, it's just it's kind of it's one of those very like soppy romantic movies where yeah, all the tropes of romantic things are there. But I quite enjoyed it because it had quite a it wasn't a musical, but it had a lot of music themed things happening because she's a musician.
What's it called?
Finding You.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's in it?
I don't remember their names. Genuinely, I don't. Yeah. I don't know if there's anyone big. Like, I feel like I would recognize if there's someone big. But
you didn't know who Hugo Weaving was a few weeks ago.
That is also true.
So carry on.
Anyway, yeah, it's just kind of watched it when I was bored. It's pretty decent. I gave it a 7.
I'm imagining it's like Tom Cruise and like Jennifer Lawrence as the leads of this movie, and you're like, huh, it would have seemed familiar if I knew if they were famous, but I don't know who these people are. Yeah.
Then I also watched the Lego Ninjago movie.
All right.
Also a lot of fun. That one's got Jackie Chan in it, and one of the what are their names? The Francos. It's one of the Francos. I don't recall which one, but one of them. It's also there's a lot of fun like quips in there that I thoroughly enjoyed. I think I don't remember his name at the moment, but he's kind of the antagonist for like the first half, and then he stops being the antagonist. It's like I want to say Gorman. It's not Gorman, but anyway, he's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching him, and he is comfortably my favorite part of the movie. I gave that one an 8, and then I did a marathon of roughly 11 hours or so. The Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Wow.
Yeah, the extended cuts. The first movie.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Although it's a big Christmas tradition for people. So you're about a month early.
God damn it.
But yeah.
I thought you'd be proud that I watched it.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, the first movie is a hard 10. Like it was, I think it was like 3 hours long. No, 3.5 hours long. But it didn't feel like it.
Right.
There's always something happening. There's always something to keep you engaged. And it's such an outstanding movie. It's one of the best movies I've ever watched. At least top 5.
All right.
The second movie I found was a little bit more dull, I'd say, because it's kind of like, you know how in a regular movie you've got like especially a longer movie, you've got like an introduction kind of thing where it introduces everything, and then you've got a bunch of things happen, and then there's like a little kind of what's the word? Like a dip almost. Not in all movies, obviously, but in a fair few movies.
Yes. What's your point?
Yeah. This just feels like the dip. Like, well, not all of it, but a fair chunk of it feels like the dip in a longer movie, because you know how the trilogy is. It's basically set as one movie. It's like it's like an 11-hour epic, but broken up into 3 parts. It's also the
I'm familiar with the Lord of the Rings. Okay,
just making sure. It wasn't. I found it a little bit boring, but it's still incredibly well shot. It keeps all the themes from the first movie. I gave it a 9 just because I found it got a little bit boring, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Especially the whole Gandalf thing, where I watched it with a friend, right? And, spoilers for Lord of the Rings, although at this point, I mean, they're like 20 years old. You should have watched them by now.
They're all older than you.
Yeah. The
last one came out the same year you were born.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, yes, they are all older than me. Yes.
You were born in 2023.
In 2023.
Yes. So they're all older than you.
I am the Vision.
There was a 1978 version by Ralph Bakshi. Have you seen that?
No,
of course not.
Yeah.
Big crook.
Of course.
But it's like a 1.5 hour, like, it's an animated movie where he's cut out a lot of stuff and kept the main stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, like halfway through the first movie, Gandalf dies. Well, Gandalf falls into a pit, right? And my friend goes, "Yep, Gandalf the Grey is dead." And I'm like, "No, that can't be. There's still
2 movies. 2.5 movies.
There's still 2.5 movies. How does that work?" And then in the second movie, it begins with showing us what happened to him, and he becomes Gandalf the White. And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." He's also the only wizard in Lord of the Rings to change colors, which I think is a cool little detail.
Okay.
Not like physically, just
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
He's not a wizard.
What?
He's a Maya.
A Maya.
They're like angels.
Okay.
He's taken the form of like an old wizard, but he's like an immortal being.
Yeah.
The same as who's the other wizard? Saruman.
Yeah.
He's also like I don't want to go into the lore, but there's like a god.
Yeah.
And he created all the
Maya.
Yeah. Iluvatar. He created the universe.
Okay.
Right, and then he created Morgoth. He became the devil. The version of the devil.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. So they essentially angel. The Balrog is also a version of the Maya.
Oh.
That's why they would
They're like
equally powered.
Okay. Yeah. And then the third movie, lots of fun. Absolutely loved it. It's kind of a I was gonna say a little bow, but it's not a little bow. It's a 4.5 hour bow.
The thing is, a lot of people complain that there's too many endings. Because there's so many plots that need to be wrapped up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, they take 4.5 hours, and they're really...
Yes, but I mean, it could have been done much quicker.
Yeah, probably. But personally, I found it's fine as it is with its 4.5 hours. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Also a 10. So, the series is sitting at 9.6.
Alright.
Yeah. Pretty good. Next week I come back with, I don't know, something else.
Okay. Are we done here?
Yeah, I would say so.
Alright, so thank you for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, give a like, etc. Importantly, it needs to be a 5-star review.
It has to be.
Please subscribe on Patreon to listen to our movie commentaries. We're doing, I guess, the 4 Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Right?
All of them.
You can find all our links at PAICIP.com. That's PAICIP.com. Please tell a friend and tell that friend to tell a friend. Tell a family member.
Tell everyone.
And, yeah. Bye.
Cheerio.
Au revoir.